Hi there, and welcome back to another edition of ScaleUp Radio, the podcast inspired by the Entrepreneurial ScaleUp System and designed to make navigating our scale-up journeys that little bit easier by learning from others' experiences. I'm Kevin Brent, and today we bring you one of our monthly guest specials from ScaleUp Club, and we're excited to introduce Nick Wroe, who's the driving force behind Platform 81, along with his partner Gary, and they're an award-winning web, digital marketing and design agency known for its remarkable growth and innovative client solutions. And they started in the 2008 recession, and Nick and his team have turned challenges into triumphs, expanding now to a 24-person dynamic team dedicated to becoming the trusted digital partner for ambitious brands. And Nick shares some of the keys to their success: strategic client selection, a strong focus on bespoke e-commerce solutions, and a rigorous recruitment process, ensuring a cultural fit and team strength. And he delves into the importance of having a really clear vision and the ability to say no, and the financial stability offered by retainers. So make sure you don't miss any future episodes like this of ScaleUp Radio. Wherever you like to listen to your podcast, you can subscribe there, and you can also nominate a guest for ScaleUp Radio if you know someone with an interesting scale-up story, and you can find out how in the show notes. So for now, join us as Nick offers a goldmine of experience on cultivating a positive company culture, navigating the strategy execution gap, and adapting to a hybrid work environment in a post-lockdown world. So get ready for an episode packed with actionable strategies that propel business growth and foster a thriving workplace. So, Nick,
hello there.
To you.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to everybody here today. Good afternoon, all. As Kevin rightly says, I'm Nick Wroe from Platform 81 Limited. I'm the MD here, and we are a web development, digital marketing and design agency, as Kevin rightly says. Spread our team across the sunny shores of Stockport and the more tropical shores of Bromsgrove. We first started trading 2nd of January 2008. So just as the recession was kicking in, we thought, come on, let's start up a business. Great idea. And that was just initially two of us, myself and Alec, who was my business partner back then. And to be fair, we've grown very sort of organically. So as of April, as Kevin said, we'll actually be 24 because we actually just accepted a new recruit today to bolster the team. So there'll be 24 of us by the end of April, which is a great sort of position to be in because, as Kevin rightly says, we have got some pretty aggressive growth plans, and everything we do in our business is based on our strategy of growth. Our sort of vision and what we all work to is to be the trusted digital partner for brands with ambition. So a key part of that is making sure that we're delivering the best that we can, but also being very selective with the clients that we work with. Long gone are the days where we're just taking everything that comes across our desk, because I think now we've learned to say no to a lot of stuff and say yes to the right stuff. So I'll talk a little bit later about how we're sort of doing that. But yeah, I mean, our core business is we create bespoke sites for a range of industries. Quite a good sort of industry for us is e-commerce, because e-commerce is obviously fundamentally business critical stuff. So every project that we deliver across the e-commerce sphere is a chunky value in terms of the actual delivery of the site, but also is the very sticky customers as well, which is something we built a lot to move forward with. Is fundamentally all our e-commerce clients have support with us, and they have their hosting infrastructure with us as well. And so it is a great sort of industry for us to be sort of growing significantly. And since lockdown, our e-commerce offering has quadrupled, if not more, in terms of the number of projects that we've got, and the sort of bespoke solutions that we can now offer. We are also now a Shopify registered developer as well, so we can deliver in the Shopify space too. Pros and cons for Shopify, and a lot of work we do is in WordPress, WooCommerce, plus some bespoke delivery as well. And as Kevin rightly says, we operate across no specific vertical, to be honest, because we feel that if you do operate across a specific vertical, you may be able to charge more for your field services. However, we do have the feeling that it would stunt growth because you are limiting your market. So, yes, as Kevin says, football clubs, gym groups, property developers, insurance brokers, all the glamour and all the not so glamorous. But fundamentally, what we do is deliver marketing plans and marketing strategies, and as long as we know our market, then we can tailor our approach accordingly.
Great, and we get a flavour for your passion for the football with the pictures on the wall.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
So we got Messi and Rooney. Number 10 is clearly clearly.
A bit of rugby there as well. You see a bit of rugby as well. So it's,
very good. So you've come a long way. What do you think from you mentioned maybe a little bit learn to say no, but I was going to ask from a strategy point of view, what have you learned over the years?
Learn to say no is a key part, and if there is an opportunity that doesn't support your objective, which ours is growth, then think really hard and carefully about whether you move forward with that project.
Yeah.
A focus for us is on retainer business as well, because again, from a business value perspective, from a client buying perspective, the more we can do to get retainers on board seems to work very well for us.
Yeah.
It's healthy cash flow. You've got sticky clients because they're all on contract. And it's just nice to know that at the start of every month, you've got a certain chunk of revenue already covered. So you're not literally starting on the first of the month from zero.
Yeah.
And it's also a very good metric with regards to valuing a business. Fundamentally, our exit plan will eventually be to, either sell or merge or whatever it may be. So, retainers are a key part of that because, again, it shows, that we've got a lot of loyal customers, and B, you've got a lot of contracted, committed to work, which is great. Website delivery is our main focus because that is how we then get the opportunities to do other stuff. So 95% of our customers have a website off us. We then do the SEO, the pay-per-click, the social media, the design, the e-commerce support, etc. That always comes off the back of that. And the more retainers we have, we're getting close to our retainers to hitting our break-even point. So it's a nice bit. We can then be more selective with some of the more ad hoc projects that we take on, i.e. less projects but higher average order value. That's a really important thing for us.
Excellent.
I suppose secondly is also really know your market. We've done a lot of work over the last 6 months. So at the moment we've got 4 tiers. Tier 4 are clients that aren't really worth the time and effort that we put. Legacy clients fundamentally.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we've all got them. We've all taken on work years ago that we probably knew we shouldn't, but we want to hit our target at the end of the month. So with working with new businesses, tier 4 is not an option. So tier 3, absolute minimum requirement in terms of size of business, in terms of structure of business, in terms of value of sort of marketing spend. So as I say, working on our ICP. So ideally, a business that has a marketing function is our target market, right? Because that marketing individual or team has a duty has an objective to deliver, whether it's a website, whether it's a digital marketing piece. But it makes our life far easier to have that non-owner involved with a project.
Yeah.
It's great having an owner because they're very passionate, et cetera, but as we're all business owners, we all know we'll pull from pillar to post, and it's very hard for us to get that information that we need to be able to deliver our work for that client. So usually anomalies to that, but and I say hard about what clients are or not the right fit, and it is difficult to work away, especially I say towards the end of the month when you want to hit your numbers. But holding our nerve and basically don't undervalue what we do, because I say we've done it far too often, whereas this sort of last 6 months we've really sort of stuck to our guns in terms of working with the people that we want to work with.
Brilliant.
Rather than just coming to anyone.
Yeah, really good. So really clear focus, which is helping you to say no, looking for those sticky customers, moving to the recurring side of things, being very clear about your ideal customer profile, those for the marketing department. So yeah, fantastic. Good. In terms of the people side then, you've taken on quite a lot of people over that time. What have you learned about people and about growing a business with people in it?
All in, we've recruited about 60 odd people. Those are not massive numbers, but again, we've learned a lot going through that process, and 96% of our hires have been a success. However, that sort of small percentage can fundamentally destroy a business. We generally have the strongest team that we've ever had, in my opinion, at the moment. Our interview process is quite rigorous. So there's face-to-face sessions, Zoom meetings, depending on the role, that there will be a task involved as well, just to make sure that they are up to the standard that we need, whether it's delivering a website task, whether it's delivering a social media strategy or a pay-per-click review, whatever it may be. We do make sure that we do make the interview process tough. But again, we don't grill people either. So it's a very sort of relaxed sort of process. But we let them go away, do their work, and then also present it to us back, because that's the level we need to be pitching at.
And you're not just relying on what they say they're good at and the ones that come across well in interview. Yeah. Exactly.
And we have been stung in the past, but very wet behind our ears, sort of 10, 15 years ago, and you just take people at face value. And unfortunately, especially now since lockdown, it's a very, very different recruitment sort of environment at the moment. My wife works in recruitment. She says it's a completely different world. Straight after lockdown, it was very much a candidates market, whereas now it is becoming very more that companies are now going back into the office full time. So the sort of I'd say the working landscape has changed quite significantly. Right. I suppose another thing that for us is very, very important is culture. Cultural fit is absolutely crucial. We've got a situation at the moment where we've had an individual that we've actually since removed from the business because they were that poisonous from a negativity perspective, and it only took one person to mention it, and then suddenly we did our own digging, and it was a potentially very toxic situation. Frustratingly, we're off to tribunal, which is a first for us. So you learn more every day, don't you? All that side of things, but we are hoping it won't go that far because we feel that our approach has been absolutely by the book. And
that's it's very much an exception, isn't it? That I mean, I know the culture within the business is very, very strong. Is there one thing that you could point to that's helped you to build that culture?
Excuse me, my French, give me shit about people. Generally, it's so simple as well. Understand that, know when the birthday is and what would they like for their birthday. Finding out enough about people so you understand what makes them tick. And also the empathy element as well. Understanding, trying to put yourself in their shoes about how making this decision within the business is going to impact your role. So just little things that cost no money, like just sending one of the juniors a little message. You've had a great week. Well done, have a good weekend, and that sort of thing. The feedback we've had is it puts people on cloud nine for the weekend. Great, But also on the flip side, you need to make sure that you deliver the bad news as well. So it's not all about the niceties, but also making sure that we do have standards that need to be hit. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So one more question from me, and then I'm going to throw it open to Granger and the room. So I mentioned that strategy execution gap that we all struggle with, and only a few of us really get right. What sort of things do you do to help to bridge that gap?
One thing that we are now very focused on is process. Every sort of customer that comes through, from literally the first phone call that a customer might make to the business to us delivering a website 6 months down the line, we do have processes in place. Those processes are flexible, but not too flexible, because we need to ensure that the experience across our sort of customer experience, I should say, is as smooth as it can be. We've also got we've restructured the business as well in terms of we've got the senior management team, senior leadership team, I should say. Then we've got the management team, and then we have the delivery team. And it's important to just making sure that people know what their roles are and what their responsibilities are and accountabilities. And again, one thing we've probably learned, especially myself, is not micromanaging people. The reason you take people on is because they're good at what they do. That they may need direction, but micromanagement will get them out the door pretty quickly. Yeah. So I'm slowly pulling away from the day-to-day delivery stuff and project involvement, which is very much to everyone's delight, because I get quite built into it and people get very frustrated with me being involved because I want to know too much. And if anything, I'm probably then the bottleneck. So again, it's making sure that you've got the ultimate trust in your teams and the processes to deliver what the customer wants.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. I mean, I could keep asking you questions for the next hour or so, but no, I can't do that. Shouldn't do that. So thank you for that. Let's throw it. Granger, would you like to?
Questions from the floor. Nick, do you have a Platform 81? Is it work from home or work in an office environment? What do you have?
We're very much hybrid. So straight from lockdown, to be honest, we initially said that we'd be in a day a week just to sort of just get people back to normal, because we appreciate a lot of lifestyles change significantly during lockdown, with people buying dogs, for example. So you've got to be able to cater for stuff like that. But yeah, we're in the offices every Wednesday and every Thursday, and we've done that since late 2021. And to be honest, I can't see that changing. For the days that we're in the office, we finish half an hour early so people can get on the road before the rush hour. So we then work at home Monday, Tuesday, Friday. And Friday is a good day because we finish at 3 o'clock. And it's interesting, actually. I say we can finish at 3 o'clock if you can finish at 3 o'clock, if that makes sense. And it's amazing how many people work through a lunchtime on a Friday to get finished at 3. I tell you, it's great. But yeah, we are very much hybrid, and I can't ever see that changing.
Okay, thank you. Really interesting. Yeah, lots of debate always about hybrid models and how to make them work or not. So another question, when you're talking to your future clients, how do you propose to clients about the retainer service? Because we always want retainer service, but how do you go about doing that with potential clients?
To be honest, we're pretty upfront with it. It's been pretty specific in the core business that we offer. We do offer various packages, and we are sort of flexible in terms of the way that people might want to approach a retainer. But what we found is that as long as we're talking to the right customers, i.e. the marketing managers, they prefer to work that way anyway, usually. Just because it's all contracted, and it just keeps a clean line, because if we have to quote for every piece of work that we deliver, it just becomes a very time-consuming process. So usually we sort of discuss retainer options straight away, and in fact, it's actually a mandatory. But if you want to work with us, you are paying a retainer.
Okay, thank you. Going back to hiring, for me, how do you go about finding that cultural fit? Because you talked about how important it is, and you talked about what happens when it doesn't, and the impact that might be happening recently with your business. But how do you go about doing that?
Well, as I say, one thing that we did during lockdown was we actually hired quite a few without physically meeting them, because we couldn't. Part of our recruitment process is now meeting people face to face. Because there's so much more you can learn by meeting people in the flesh than not. And I think also it's follow your gut feeling as well. Gut feeling is one of those things that people take for granted, but the issue we have with this one employee at the moment is that we didn't follow our gut feeling, and we didn't follow our recruitment process. So you can really get a good feel for somebody when you meet them face to face, have a good conversation with them, shake them by the hand, and look them in the eyes.
Brilliant. Final question then. We've got a few. Thank you very much, everybody, for submitting. I'll go with this one. So going back to the strategy side. So you're in a fairly saturated market. Okay. How do you define your difference to have become so successful and had your business growth?
Again, it's a bit of a cheesy line, but again, our people are what make us unique, and our approach, and really understanding basically selling the solution rather than a product as well. So really understanding what the customer needs, and sort of more consultancy early on to make sure that actually you're challenging the customer to what they think they need against actually what they actually do need. Some feedback we've got, which is really positive, is that our proposal structure and our proposal detail is really, really good. So it shows that we have the understanding of what the objective of the project is from day one. And that fundamentally is just a lot of listening, and we do a lot of work early on to make sure that the end result is exactly what the client needs.
Brilliant. Super. That's really good. Thank you very much, Nick, for that, and some really good questions. Thank you to everyone for those questions as well. So yeah, really appreciate you coming and joining us, Nick, and sharing some of your insights. We didn't quite go as far as asking you what is it that actually is so secret about your business that we all need to know so we can do it ourselves, but nearly got there. I hope you enjoyed that. discussion. And if you're building and scaling your own business, you might well be interested in our book, The Entrepreneurial ScaleUp System. And it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a practical handbook around scaling a business in a structured way. And you can order a copy on all your favorite online retailers, including an audio version, or you can find it and other supporting resources on our website, www.esusgroup.co.uk. That's esusgroup.co.uk, which is esusgroup.co.uk.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.